Welcome to the Human Bacon Podcast, Episode 2. I am your host, Tyler, and I have my co-host here, Nick.
What a beep.
And today we're going to be talking about numerous things in the gaming world. We're going to start with God of War 4 so that we can segue into God of War Ragnarok because that looks absolutely epic. So go ahead, Nick. I'll let you explain.
God of War 4. Did you play the other God of Wars?
I played a bit of like 3 and 2. I never really got into them, but I'm like really interested now that Ragnarok's coming out. So if you want to like just explain the story to me because I don't know much about it.
The first ones it's all Greek mythology. So, you're fighting Zeus and, everybody else. And this one was actually Norse mythology. So, like, Thor's in this, and his brothers and Odin, and things like the other ones weren't that. It was just Greek mythology.
Right.
And Zeus was your father.
Mm-hmm.
And you're all like, you got this white skin and all this red on you. It's the ashes of everybody that you've killed. So that's why like you look like you got all these tattoos and everything. But God of War 4 opens up with you cutting down a tree, this big tree. You cut this big tree down, and then you carry it over, and you don't even realize what you're doing. You're kind of just going through the motions.
Mm-hmm.
And you're using this tree to burn your wife because she passed away, so you're cremating her.
Okay.
And her last wish was to go to the highest mountain in all of the realms and scatter her ashes. So you have a son whose name's Atreyu, and he goes with you while you try to. But the beginning of it is after when you're doing this, a god shows up, I think it's one of Thor's brothers. But he shows up, and you have this epic fight with this god.
Mm-hmm.
And, God of War games, like, it's not always fighting. Sometimes it's like cinematic, and then you have to hit square or hit X at that certain time.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what you go through.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just this epic smashing through trees and mountains and everything like that. And then you end up snapping his neck, and he falls down, and you think he's dead, but he's a god, so obviously he's not.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's you and Atreyu going out to figure out how you're gonna get to where the wife wanted all the ashes scattered.
Oh, so that's the journey of God of War 4. Is
And
the
you have to get to the highest mountain in all the realms, and I think it's in Jotunheim. It's because they have like Helheim and Midgard, like
Right.
in the Thor movies, they did all that stuff.
Yeah,
So they do, it's based on real Norse mythology.
Gotcha.
But the beginning is like you're training your son how to do stuff too. So you're training him how to hunt. So they can, shoot
like the
deers and do
archetypal
it.
things, like you do like your kid,
Yeah.
I saw those, and like after seeing those and just how beautiful and like just majestic Kratos was with his son, I was like, this game's different.
It was
'Cause,
so heartbreaking too with him and his son. Like it was like such a real relationship. Like he loved his son, but he couldn't really say it or show it. So he was kind of
he has that like
strong with
stoic,
them, and he was more stoic and
right. Yeah, because like I remember playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and there were the like game awards that year for Red Dead Redemption 2, and the final two games that like were up for Game of the Year were Red Dead Redemption 2 and God of War 4, and I wasn't too into the God of War series after playing Red Dead 2. So I was like, Red Dead 2 was fucking amazing. I was like, there's no way any game can beat that this year. I was like, there's no way. And then all of a sudden God of 4 won. And then I was just like, at first I was like, that's fucking bullshit. But I didn't know anything about God of War 4. Like, because I only played Red Dead 2. But I was like, how could any game beat Red Dead 2? Like, that makes no sense to me. So, yeah, after looking up God of War 4, I was like, holy shit. I was like, I get it now.
it was just so insane that when you get out you're on like the Lake of the Nine and to get to the other realms, and there's this giant world serpent. It's this huge snake who literally like goes around the whole world, and he like opens up portals so you can go to all like different Helheim and different things like that. But there's a big twist in it, is that your son is actually a god too. And you see a prophecy of him. He's actually Loki.
Oh shit.
Yep. And he gets ill. You find a witch of the woods. Because you go and essentially you find this guy I'm kind of jumping around, but you find a guy who's the smartest man in the world. He's like tied to this tree, he's embedded to this tree, you can't get out.
Yeah, don't you like carry his head around?
Yeah, you cut his head off, and then you have to bring his head to the Witch of the Woods.
Oh,
and she revives his head, but Kratos doesn't trust her, the witch or whatever. And she realizes what his son is, and he gets ill because he's immortal, or he's a god who believes he's immortal, and he doesn't know he's a god. For some reason, he gets sick because of it.
Wait, who?
The son,
Oh, the
Atreyu.
son. Okay, he gets
So Kratos has to, because he never told his son that his son's a god.
Oh,
So he
okay.
ends up telling his son that he's a god, and his son kind of gets real arrogant and gets
yeah.
like this, I'm a god, I can do whatever I want.
Right.
So two of Thor's half brothers show up, and Kratos killed one of them, and then the other one got away. And then the one who got away got the crap beat out of him by Thor, because Thor blamed him for it. And Atreyu, his son, Kratos' son, they end up meeting him, and he killed him. And Kratos was like, dude, you didn't, he was like all messed up, you didn't need it. But like he started getting like this arrogant kind of, but then they went to Helheim, which was awesome, because obviously you're in hell.
Oh, okay. But
And
that's
they-
what Helheim is. It's
Yeah.
hell. Basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you go there, and you go to all the realms, and it's really cool. The Helheim one is like,
It's all different like biomes too, right? It's like
yeah, you gotta like
winter
essentially
and-
line this thing up, and it can open up that certain realm, and then you can go inside of
Oh,
that
it's a
realm.
portal, okay.
Yeah, it's like a portal key that you
Right.
got to open up. But the lake thing is cool. Like the lake is huge, and you can go around these different areas, and you can find certain different things or whatever before you even
Yeah.
want to go into the portals.
Gotcha.
But
So how does so I know at the end of God of War 3, he ends up killing like Zeus, and he kills
Yep.
practically all the gods, and it was because of Pandora's box. And
Yep.
like so I looked up all that stuff. But how does Kratos transition from 3 to 4? How does he end up in
He's in-
Ragnarok? Or is it just completely separate? Like
they show him. It's like years and years later.
yeah. So
And-
it doesn't tell you how he got to 4.
They did at one point explain how he came into that realm, because it's not the Greek realm anymore. He's in the Nord or the Norse realm.
Yeah, yeah. How did
They
he
do at one
change?
point explain. I don't remember. It's been a while since I played it, but
Yeah.
they do explain that he came to another realm, and that he's a god from another. Because Thor and the other people who fight him realize that he's a god from another realm.
Yeah.
Like he shouldn't essentially be there.
From like a different lineage.
Yeah.
It's like a different universe of gods,
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah.
But
So-
you got the axe in that, which is wicked sick, because it's like it's almost like Thor's hammer. You can just throw it and it comes back to you.
Yeah.
But it's wicked cool because you can like throw it in a wall if you don't want to use the axe, and just bare hand beat the crap out of people because you're Kratos, and it's so much fun to do that.
Yeah.
And then you'll run around and you'll be like, I don't have my axe with me. And it's literally like a scene in Thor where you just call it and you're just sitting there waiting
Oh,
because you
yeah.
left it far out. But it hits people.
Oh,
So if
as it,
someone's in the
comes
way,
back
yeah, it'll
to
mess
it.
somebody up.
Oh wow.
So it's funny.
So you can get like some crazy combos with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But then when you have to go to Helheim, you have to go to get something to save your son, too. He doesn't just tell him to get better. Like he goes to Helheim to get something, and you see Zeus in Helheim, like he's like kind of this figure.
Oh,
Or whatever.
so
You see him for a second,
so Kratos isn't the only other god.
but he's
that's-
dead.
Oh,
Like he's
dead.
not really Zeus. It's like a figure, or something,
Oh,
or he talks
okay.
to him, or something like that. And when he goes to Helheim, he can't use the blade because it doesn't work, the axe. So he has to go and get his the blades. I can't believe I just forgot. Then everybody goes and gets those blades back that he ties around, which is a pretty cool scene because you don't think you're gonna see them. And then like he goes back to his house and he like moves some like piece of wood from the floor, and he just pulls out, and he's got the chaos blades. That's what they are.
Okay.
And then you get to use those again. But after Helheim, you can switch between them. So it's cool. So you get the axe and you get
right.
the chaos blades at the same time, which
Because
is
the
pretty
Chaos
cool.
Blades, those were like an upgrade in the recent games before, like God of
Yeah.
War 3 and stuff, right? Yeah.
Because
Gotcha.
they were just infinite chains, almost like Spawn.
Right.
Like you can
Right.
just kind of keep going with them.
Gotcha. So, so what happens at the end of 4 that might hint at what we're gonna see in Ragnarok?
At the end, you kind of so there's like murals on the wall. I forget where you go, but you go at one point, you can see a painting, and it's like kind of showing the future and everything.
Yeah.
And one of them has almost like a blanket covering it, but like the wind hits it, and when you see the wind hit it, you can see it's Loki, and it's about Loki, doing horrible things, and he
Oh,
knows it's his son.
Oh shit.
So he's
okay.
trying to like prevent that, but at
The
the end of it,
prophecy, yeah.
the one Badul, I forget it, but the first guy who shows up, you end up fighting him and killing him,
Right.
and then I think there's a different ending, but essentially after you do all that, you spread the ashes,
Right. Okay.
and because it was I think it's Jotunheim, but it's like the land of the giants, and there's
Yeah.
not really giants left, so they have to go to this place, and they find out that that's where Kratos' wife was from. He didn't even know that.
Right.
So he ends up pretty much doing that, and then they go home, and then the ending is that the son has a vision of Thor coming, because they show like
Okay.
all the
So
lightning and
do you
everything like
fight
that.
Thor in God of War 4? No.
No,
No, he's just like kind of like. Do you see him at all?
yeah, they bring up Odin and stuff like that. I think Thor does show up at one point,
Okay.
but I know it's mainly it's that one dude and then his two half brothers, or who you're messing with.
So I bet they're just like kind of like how do you say, like sort of like the background characters of Greek mythology,
Yep.
or like the Nord mythology. I mean, so they're like behind like Loki, behind Thor
Yeah, yeah.
in like stature, and you're in the God of War 4. You're fighting them. They're kind of like the main bad guys,
Yep.
and then Ragnarok. You know Thor's gonna come and
Thor's gonna come and kill everybody.
yeah.
I'm guessing, but yeah, because they showed just a bunch of lightning and stuff, and you're like, oh, obviously this is Thor.
I think that's gonna be a cool moment. They're gonna have to do this where like Kratos like summons his like axe just by holding out his hand, and Thor does too.
Oh, you know, there's
And then
gonna be a
they
scene.
just stare at each
Yeah.
other like, the fuck, you can do it too? Like what?
But you can get so many cool things in that game to like upgrade and get different moves and different. You know, I got a thing for the axe at one point where you just like held I think right and left bumper at the same time, and I literally just shot like frozen beam out of the axe, and I could just like freeze things and just
Oh,
go up
shit.
and murder them. But the cool thing is that after you beat God of War 4, if you want to do it, I forgot there's a mode you can go into, and you start from the beginning, but you have everything that you ended the game with, so you're like
Okay.
maxed out, and you can replay the game that way.
Right. That's cool.
Probably try to do a God mode or something. Which good luck to you if anyone
so
wants to.
how is the upgrade system? Like you said it's solid.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's like you know, you get different, like they put like gems almost on it. Like you upgrade it and you see like another slot on the axe, like it shows that.
Oh, so it's like aesthetic shows the
Yeah,
it's like shows the upgrade through aesthetic.
Yeah, it looks like a little rune stone or something. But like you
Nice.
can see that your axe or the chaos blades that you get later, you can upgrade and do different moves and stuff. And
Cool. So basically the plot of Ragnarok, or like what we could theorize, is that it's just going to be Kratos trying to stop the prophecy happening like to his son.
yeah, and I think it's because they killed Thor's half brothers and everything. So it's gonna be Thor coming down to get revenge.
Oh, I see.
Because those guys he killed was his half brother. I mean, I
Right.
don't know much about, you know,
Yeah,
Norse mythology and all
Nord,
that, but yeah.
Yeah. As far as the game goes, yeah, that's cool. Like ever since the Game Awards, and I looked up God of War, I was so interested in it, and it's kind of it's crazy to me that I didn't play it. You know,
Yeah.
like God of War 1 when that came out, because I had PlayStation and stuff when I was younger, but I just migrated towards Xbox, and I started doing like the Halo and Gears
Yeah,
of War
yeah.
and all that, and I forgot about God of War. Like I didn't like I played a few times over a friend's house or something, and I was like, this is cool, but I never got into the story, and,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's what really grabs you, you know. And I mean, the combat's fun, but when you learn about the story, you want to play it so much more, just because of how the archetypal nature of like
Oh, it's so good.
the hero's journey, you know.
Yeah.
And like English literature, like that's exactly what that is, in the most archetypal form, and that's why it's so interesting to me. And the father-son dynamic, I'm sure that's
it's
like
so
amazing.
heart-wrenching too at times
Yeah.
too, where he's, you know, because the mom obviously, you know, he was probably just Kratos the whole time, and you know, stoic dad. The mom was the
Yeah.
emotional one, so now he's trying to figure out a way for him to
Yeah. So
fill
he
that,
doesn't
those
have
shoes, and he's
he doesn't have the emotional connection with
Yep.
his son. So, and his wife probably filled that, and now he's trying to
yeah.
do that the best he
They'll
can.
show cutscenes of him, you know, almost like wanting to put his hand on his shoulder but doesn't. You know,
Yeah.
scenes like that, and you're like, oh, just hug him, Kratos, just hug him.
Yeah, stoicism, man. Yeah, that's and that's so relatable to like the real world, you know, which is like how things work, and just from a lot of people, even those people have subjective experiences with their fathers and stuff. You can relate to that.
Oh yeah.
You know, even if it's in a little way or a big way, you understand that, and that's why so many people love that game.
Yeah, it was.
And it's just
It was so deep. The story was just so deep.
it hits the archetypal
Yep.
Notes per se. Just
It's
right
a game
on
you
the
didn't
head.
want to end. It was one of those like, all right, keep
Right.
going. Like
Yeah.
we're still figuring things out.
Yeah, and that's how Red Dead was for me too. It's like Red Dead's a fantastic
Oh,
game.
that was one of the best games I've ever played ever.
Red Dead 2, it's just
That whole franchise is amazing. Even back
It
to
is.
the Xbox, the original one.
oh yeah, the first Red Dead. I mean, that's the first game I cried to. You know.
Oh yeah,
And
that's-
what's so cool about God of War is like I cried for Red Dead 1. I cried for Red Dead 2. Because Red Dead 2 ending was equally heart wrenching, as
You
Red
just
Dead
get
1.
sick. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's so like,
And like God of
oh
War 4, I feel like it's one of those games too, where like you have those,
yeah.
really emotional moments, and you might shed a tear or two, and that's what you want out of a story game.
Oh yeah.
Like if it makes you laugh, cry, and get angry, and like you experience those in like the fullest fashion.
Like those games you look at and you're like, I don't know if I can sum up the emotions I need right now to play that game.
Yeah,
You're like, it's not
that's how
like
you know
Destiny. You just
it's a
jump on, you start shooting people, you find. There's some games you look at and you're like,
yeah,
I can't do that right now. Like I
yeah,
can't.
exactly. Like another game I played that I fell in love with, it was Ori and the Blind Forest. I think I probably told you about that. I don't
Yes,
know if
I've
did you play
seen
it?
it on I think Game Pass.
Yeah,
That I've scrolled through before,
yeah.
but
That's another like just emotionally just heart wrenching game. But there's barely any words to it. It's just all what you see on screen and what you
uh,
experience.
which makes it worse
And like
sometimes.
it does because you're this little character called Ori, and they came up with a second version of the game that I bought, but I haven't played yet because of just like I was just like I'm just like I'm not ready for that emotional journey.
Yep.
It's like that's just what you talked about. It's like one of those games. So when I played Ori and the Blind Forest, it took me about I'd say a couple weeks to beat it, just because of time. But like I wanted to play it a
Yeah.
lot because like I really wanted that like emotional journey for the game. And Ori and the Blind Forest, you're Ori, and you start off and there's this like giant tree of basically wisdom, and you spawn as like a leaf from that tree. The leaf lands on the ground, and then like you sprout out as like Ori, and you're basically the tree's children. And the tree loses you, so it uses its light to call out to you, right? And its light is so bright that it ends up like basically blinding a lot of the creatures of the forest, and like it doesn't make them evil, but it makes the distant creatures who might be presumed as evil, right, act in an evil way because they're allergic to the light.
Oh, all right.
Because there's dark areas of the forest where like if the light reaches and touches, then it's going to kill the darkness. And in an archetypal story, you think that as being a good thing, but in
Yep.
Ori, it takes that to a different spectrum. So it doesn't say that darkness is necessarily evil and light isn't necessarily good. It's just that they don't combine well, and it can make them not like each other because they don't combine well.
Yeah.
And your journey as Ori is you get basically adopted by this little creature in the forest, and it's just like this benevolent like mother figure of a creature, and she takes you in and she takes care of you and she feeds you because like you're lost in the woods and like you're scared, and like you don't end up going back to the tree because when it calls out for you, it basically it wipes out the whole forest, and like this big storm comes and it devastates the forest, and there's no food. So you're living with this like mother creature that like at first you had a lot of food and abundance, and it gets to the point where there's no food, and there's only a little bit left, and like she wants you to have it, so she ends up dying.
Oh God.
And you like the way she dies too. It's like you guys fall asleep together, and you're both starving, right? Because you ate the last little bit of the food, and you wake up, and like it's like Lion King almost, like Simba, in
Oh, like
like in
wake
like
up,
his in
Dad.
like his
Yep.
dead like arms of his dad, and like you wake up and you're like you're pushing her, and she's like not moving, and then like you push her like a little harder, and then she just like topples over on the ground,
Dead.
and oh,
Jesus.
and like you just get so scared, and like you go out of the cave that you've been in for a while, and like there's this devastation across the whole forest, and you gotta end up you gotta find your way to the bonsai tree of light, um, because that's like because you're basically light. That's what you are, and you gotta fight the darkness in the woods because it's trying to kill you, and you gotta find the bonsai tree, and you get to it, and you save that, and then you just go on this amazing like emotional journey, and like there's this spider thing constantly trying to like steal stuff from you and take stuff from you, but you end up the spider eventually gets like trapped under these boulders, and you end up helping it get out, and it becomes your friend. So it's not necessarily everything's evil, or it's just like everything's misunderstood in
Yep.
this universe, and there's this giant eagle figure that's like basically darkness incarnate, and it's trying to kill you the whole game, and you don't know why until the end. You figure out that when the tree spread its light looking for you, and it called out for you, and that like and when it called out for you, it spread its light across the forest to such an extent that it hit the darkness, and killed the eagle's babies. Or it's like a raven. It killed the raven's babies because the light and the darkness don't combine.
Yep.
So that's why the raven was trying to like destroy the tree and kill Ori the
Jesus.
whole game. So it's like, yeah, it's an emotional game. And the start of the second game, there was one egg left at the end of the first game, right? And eventually your mother gets like reviven at the end of the first game, and like you become a family again with like the spider. The spider joins your family, and like you find this egg at the end of the first game, and it has, and like the mother eventually sacrifices herself, the raven mother, to shield the light from her baby, her last baby, and then
Yep.
she dies, and then you end up with the egg as Ori, and like it's a little baby version of the raven. And in the second game, like it starts off, and like the raven has like a little like the egg hatches, and the raven has like a messed up wing, almost like Nemo, and it
Yep.
can't fly right. So you find one of the mother's feathers, right? Like that, the mother's feathers, and you attach it to the baby's wing, and then the baby's able to like gain flight and fly again, and so it has a piece of its mother on it, and
Yep.
it's flying.
Jesus.
And it's just, like I said, it's like really emotional. It's not a lot of words at all. It's just like really emotional games, and I love stories like that. You know, it's like they don't even have to tell you what's happening. You just see it and you understand it, and that's what Ori is. Ori is fantastic, fantastic. Oh, and the music in that game.
Oh no, they
So
just pull your heartstrings with this sad.
it won so many awards for its music. Like its orchestra is just fantastic. That's all I can say. Like Frank, we work with Frank.
Yep.
He played Ori too. He didn't even beat it, but he went out and bought the soundtrack to it just because of how amazing
Wow.
the music is in that game. And the way they use the music and showing you on screen what's happening, that's what really like hits your heartstrings, you know. And that's what I love about like story-driven emotional games. It's like,
Oh yeah, the music always gets you.
yeah, the music is a really big part of it, and you don't, and the best games make it so that you don't even know the music is a part of it, right? You're just experiencing it, and maybe after you're done playing, you're like, wow, that music was really good, but like you don't even notice it because you're so like invested in the game, you know. That's amazing.
That sounds fucking sad.
It's
Sounds pretty
it's
sad.
It's sad, but it has its moments of like uplift, and it's just the uplifting moments are a lot better than the sad moments, but the sad moments they hit you when they're there, you know, and that's what's so great about the game, though.
Oh, emotional games.
Yeah, emotional games, man. They're becoming more I'd say rare nowadays because
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
wants Fortnite and everyone wants like multiplayer shooters, and those are fun.
Yeah,
you
you
know,
want quick. Everything wants to be quick. I want to load it quick and start shooting people quick and
yeah, leave it quick and all
Yeah.
that stuff, and those are really fun. Like Rainbow Six Siege, like I love that game
Oh,
to
yeah.
death. Like those competitive games, like they scratch like the competitive itch that you have, and that's important too. You know, I love those games. It's just I feel like companies want to make more of those games than they do like story-driven emotional games because the emotional games are harder to make a good story. And
oh yeah,
but that's the thing too. Like the harder it is to make something, the better, like the more prosperous you'll be if you make it. You know, like Red Dead 2, like God of War. You know,
Oh, yeah.
like Ori. Ori is like an indie game basically, but they did so good on it with the music and the story. They barely needed any vocals in it at all, and it was a masterpiece.
Just the visuals is good enough. You didn't need to
Yeah,
talk
the,
over
the
it.
visuals and the music. It's a beautiful game, beautiful. It just sucks that it's becoming more rare.
Yeah, everything's quick.
Yeah,
Just
everything's
first
very,
person
very quick.
shooters or remaking old games or.
Yeah, yeah. Like they remade Spiral. Do you ever play
Oh
Spiral?
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Frank. Frank said he played it a lot, the remake, and like I haven't. I haven't touched it, but
I played the remake a little bit.
yeah, you played it.
Yeah,
How was it?
it was good. It's
Yeah,
absolutely good. It's just after a while, just like Spyro.
it's Spiral. Yeah,
Light some sheep on fire or something.
yeah. Yeah, I remember playing. I remember staying home from school to play Spiral all the time. Literally all the time. That and San Andreas, GTA San
Oh
Andreas.
man, I remember when I figured out. I used to play a lot with my cousin, and we figured out you could actually play multiplayer on San Andreas, but you had to like find this one secret spot or whatever, and then if you did
Yeah.
it, both of you could play.
Yeah.
Man, I remember as soon as we figured that out, that was it. It was San Andreas nonstop, just me and him.
Yeah, it's San Andreas, man. Like that was like a revolutionary game, like for its time.
Yeah, I remember I played all the Grand Theft Autos, but San Andreas, there was just something about San Andreas. You were like, holy crap, this is.
Yeah, well they evolved it so much, you know. They made the map really big. Like it was massive. I mean, the textures obviously it's the time period. It wasn't that good, but they made the map massive. They made it so it was the best type of living, breathing world at the time.
Oh yeah, it was
that it could
insane
be.
how big it was. And
Yeah, and like helicopters and just everything like GTA 5 is now. San Andreas pretty much had.
yeah,
It was just
it had a good story
it's just
too when
the
you started
graphics
playing
wasn't
it.
that good. Yeah,
It was pretty decent. It was.
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Miami Vice was still pretty good, but then it was like San Andreas. You're like, holy shit, this is.
Yeah, it was they stepped it up so much on that, and that's why it's like an archetype of gaming. It's like if you want to talk about GTA, you got to talk about San Andreas.
San Andreas is what it's
Yeah,
like.
you always go back to San Andreas. At least for our generation.
Yeah.
The next generation, they'll probably be like GTA 5.
Which one was it? 4 that came out for the PS3 when it first came out.
Yeah, I believe it was 4. That was that was in New York.
I remember one of my buddies told me when they were making that game, they were basing it on real places in New York. So they would like Rockstar, whoever it was, would drive by and like kind of record how buildings and stuff look, so they could redo it.
So you had a friend who
He
told
knew
you that?
about this, yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if it's true, but he told me that when they were doing that, like kind of just getting layouts of it, one of the developers or somebody knew they were doing it, so he put like a red Dorito bag on top of his trash can to see if it was real, and then when he played the game, he drove by his house, it was a red Dorito bag on top of the guy.
No,
Yeah, I don't
really?
know if that's true, but I remember my buddy telling me that in high school, and I was just dying. I'm like, that's pretty funny.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean they do it for like Google Earth and all that. They have a car that
Yeah.
drives around, like you can Google something, zoom in, you're like, oh, it's my house, this is my car. Like, wait, how the hell did you get? And then you go to Street View and you're like, how'd you get this Street View? Like,
Yeah.
who did? I guess they have, they
They
have
got that
cars.
like van that they
Yeah.
and it has that 3D camera. Yeah.
But it's pretty funny.
Uh,
San Andreas.
I remember I was on the Street View for Google one time, and I was at Hannaford, right? And for whatever reason, I was on like the Google Street View, and there was these little kids, and you could see them like jumping up and down, like towards like the Google truck that was
Yep.
like recording them, and like as you go to like the next screen, like when it like moves forward
Yeah.
to like the next area where the truck goes, like one frame the kids were up in the air. And then the next frame, they were on the ground.
That's pretty
So
good.
like you knew they were like
they
jumping.
were jumping.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
It's kind of creepy at the same time.
Yeah,
It's a car driving around recording
yeah.
everything.
It blurred out all their faces though.
Yeah,
so-
yeah, but it's still just like,
What's it gonna catch me doing in my window?
Yeah, seriously.
Who knows?
Catch a girl walking in that's, not your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Who's this chick?
I got caught by Google.
Damn you, Google.
Fuck you, Google. Fucking hell. What's next though? What were you gonna say?
I said I try to. I was downloading this game. I don't know if you ever heard of Dark Pictures. They make
No.
like anthology games of. I think the one I just downloaded was Man of Medan, and it's like it's not like a game that you play a lot. It seems like you make decisions
Oh, okay.
what's happening during
Yeah.
it, and it looked pretty scary. You were like, you kind of kidnap some people on this boat, and then like while you were out there, you were scuba diving looking for something, and then like the boat I think rises. So like you have to go on it because it like crashes into your boat. So then when you're on it, like all this creepy stuff. So I was just watching the preview, and I downloaded it on it because it was on Game Pass. I'm like, this looks pretty scary. I want to do this.
Yeah.
It won't play.
It won't play.
It doesn't work. I uninstalled it, downloaded it again. Doesn't work. It gets up to the load screen, and you're like, all right. It says start a new game. Start a new game. Black screen. That's it.
That's it.
Doesn't do anything. I'm like, wait, but
Did you try uninstalling it?
Yeah.
Reinstall it?
still doesn't work. Thanks, Xbox. I mean, it was free, so I can't really complain. You know, it was on Game
That's
Pass.
just a
But
horrible port then.
yeah,
Like the company that did it, it's like they fucked it up.
I was
They really
looking online about it, and people were saying, because I guess there's a multiplayer mode that you can play online. And they were like, oh, as soon as I jumped into multiplayer, it stopped working. I was like, I didn't even get to play a second of it, so this doesn't apply to me. What?
did. That's hilarious. So as far as like games that go like the decision making, like that's a big part about it, and like that's like most of the game.
Yeah,
Did you ever play Walking Dead?
I didn't.
Like you know, have you heard about it? Like
Oh, yeah.
like the story of it, like the game version. I forget what it's called.
They got a lot of those games.
Telltale. That's what it is. It's Telltale Walking Dead. That's the name of it. And yeah, talk about emotional games. Like it's just decision making. That's all you do. But
Yeah,
it's like,
that's even-
what group do you go with? Who do you leave behind? You know,
Yeah.
there's so many different endings.
It's like watching a movie, but you're in control of what's happening during it.
Yeah, it's like you got bit by a walker. Do you cut off your arm?
Oh, it's one of those. Oh,
Yeah, it's
that's
like
tough.
you want to cut off your arm? Yes or no? It's like
Well, yeah, I don't want to be a
I
zombie,
have
so
to cut off my arm. I mean, there's no. That's what I did. I cut off my. I still turn into a zombie. Don't matter.
did you? That sucks.
It's what you cut it off. You don't cut it off. Don't matter.
That sucks.
And you're just. What a gut wrenching scene too. It's like you're holding the saw to your arm, and like you were bit on like your wrist, so you're holding it to your arm, and you're just like, back and forth, back and forth. It's just.
I wonder if you even could in
It's
real life.
disgusting.
Do you think you could take a hands-on really saw your own? I don't know if you'd have the power. Like that would take some strength.
I feel like you'd pass out.
That's what I mean.
You wouldn't be able. You'd pass out.
If you had something electrical, maybe a chainsaw, you know what I mean? That'd be different.
You
but
did it like really
a
quick.
handsaw, like the first saw where that guy cuts his leg off to get out. I'm like, could you really? Like
Yeah.
your shin bone. I feel like that would be hard to cut through.
Yeah.
Like that's not going to be easy to just
Get a
with a
fucking bone saw.
yeah.
Like at work.
He's got a handheld thing. He just saws his. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can, but
Yeah. Oh god. Cyberpunk 2077 though.
yes,
That looks really good.
soon.
Yeah, it's next month. It's a release date for it.
Dead air.
What do we got for the release date here? I can't even find it. It's fine. I believe it's on like the 11th though of next month.
In November.
Yeah. Yeah, it's practically GTA, but just
Yeah, it
cyborgs.
seems like it. Yeah,
That's exactly what it is.
this seems pretty cool.
One of the craziest parts about that game was one of the most interesting things. It's like there's skill trees, and one is like you're like a brute in one skill tree, and like you can build. You can obviously do every skill tree,
Yeah.
but you can like be biased against certain ones so that you're more in that area. And you can be a brute, or you can be like stealth. And then there's a third one called like I don't know what the name of it, but it's like hacking. So like the hacking one is basically you're using people's biological technology against themselves.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So if you have like a gun and like your hand is basically made out of like a gun, it's like a cannon or something. You can hack their wrist and they'll put it to their jaw and they blow their head off. So
that's
it's
pretty
like,
sweet.
think about like if you had that in GTA, that's practically what the game is, and that's insane. And I heard the story. So Cyberpunk is made by the same people who make Witcher. I think we talked
alright.
about that
Yeah, I
on
think
like
we
the
did,
last
yeah.
podcast, but it's that's important to mention too, just because of story and like
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good.
because you know Cyberpunk 2077. That's what a lot of people are hyped about. It's like the story and like
Oh, it's gonna be
because you're
good.
gonna
Yeah.
be doing detective work in the story too. It's I remember seeing a trailer. It's it's like you get to relive incidences that happen through the eyes of criminals, just because they have like chips in their eyes, and so you basically go through the emotional experience that they do before they die. So you feel every emotion
Oh
that they
God.
have. That you feel what they're thinking, what they're going through.
It's like some Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, so like in the trailer, like the dude wakes up and he's screaming because like he just died like within the visualization, and yeah, that's like insane. Like being a developer and like thinking about that,
Yeah, that's
it's really creative, and I feel like that's a lot of what Cyberpunk 2077 is gonna be. Like it's gonna be really creative because I mean look at what they did with The Witcher. It's
oh yeah.
they haven't really come out with anything else big.
Yeah, it's been a while. The Witcher
mean,
was I mean
The first trailer for Cyberpunk, do you know when it was? It's 2013.
the first trailer.
Yeah,
Jesus,
2077.
7 years ago they
7 years ago, they had the trailer for the game coming out next month. So
wow.
yeah, I just noticed that today.
I wonder if they had to wait for like the new processing for the new consoles. They were like, we don't want to put this game out with what they're putting out frame rate like wise right now, or if it just
the Xbox One wasn't even out in 2013, right? It wasn't. It came out in 2015 or 2016.
I don't remember, to be honest.
I know that. It was like 2015 or 2016 when it came out. So that means that they had a trailer for Cyberpunk 2077 before Xbox One came out.
And now it's the new.
It hasn't even come out, and now we got the next generation of consoles, and now it's coming out. It literally skipped a whole generation, which is fucking hilarious.
It really is. Let's see here. 2013 it did come out.
2013.
November 22nd, 2013.
Wait, Xbox One?
Yep.
Oh, no shit. Jesus. I missed it by 3 years.
But it's still that means that the trailer came out the year the console came out, and they were like, we'll wait for the next one.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy how you show a trailer at E3 for, like, the new Xbox One, like Cyberpunk 2077. Oh, it's going to come out on here. And then you literally 7 years later, it still hasn't come out.
And we're still waiting on it.
Yeah.
And I feel like they did that with Anthem. And then Anthem came out, and you were like, this is it?
Yeah.
I waited all this time for this?
Well, CD Projekt Red, like, the people who make The Witcher, like, they're not bad devs. They're not like Anthem. They're not going to release something unfinished. And that's what they've been doing with Cyberpunk 2077 for 7 years.
Yeah.
And that's why people are hyped about it, because they know how long this shit's been in development. Anthem was in development for a long time too, but what they didn't focus on at all was story.
It was boring.
Yeah, it's
They're
very
cool. I'm
boring.
flying around like Iron Man. That part was pretty cool, but then after that, you're like, all right, now what?
Yeah, you're like,
Like,
all
what
right, did you spend 5 years of development on flying? What else do you have?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Like the new, I didn't play the new Avengers game, but when I was reading that, it's a good game, but it just still felt incomplete.
Yeah, there's what I heard is like there's practically no bosses to fight. It's like
just minions the whole time.
It's minions, and then the bosses are just bigger minions.
Well,
They're
Yay.
robots. So
That's fun.
it's like you got like 10 robots, basically looking like training dummies for the Avengers, and then they end up killing you when you're Hulk.
Oh God! Like, wait, no,
Like,
but
does this
I'm
make
Hulk.
logical sense? It's like what's happening here?
I'm Hulk. I can't really die, but
It's like you're fighting training dummies throughout the whole game. And like they're nothing but robots, and like you never fight any actual villain bosses. And you're the Avengers.
But I'm the Avengers. Shouldn't there be some godly, worldly killer?
Yeah, you don't fight any bosses at all that are actual villains. Like you don't fight Loki, you don't fight
Incomplete.
anybody. It's
Like,
horrible.
But we're the Avengers.
It's like, where the fuck's Thanos?
Somebody. You
It's
know what I
like-
mean? Ultron. Nobody. You got nothing for me.
It's like
Give
he's
me a
sending-
Scooby-Doo
he's sending
villain.
all
I don't
these
care at this
robots
point.
After us. That's it. God damn it. God damn it.
Oh, they're pushing all the Batman movies and all that stuff are getting pushed back
Yeah.
because of the Rona. Now it's not till like March of 2022.
Yeah, the Witcher season 2 got delayed quite a bit. They started production again a couple months ago, and they just released some news a couple days ago on it. It was so they pretty much finished with like filming and stuff, but they're but they have a lot of like post production stuff that they're doing, and stuff like that. Like The Witcher, in the season 2, like the armor for The Witcher, they released a picture of Geralt in his new armor. It looks fucking insane.
Does it? Yeah.
It looks really badass. Uh, he's got like instead of just having like his normal shoulder pads, he's got like 3 basically, and they like go down his arms, and
That's pretty
he's
sweet.
all armored out. Like he's all armored out. I wonder how they're gonna bring Yennefer back though, because it looked like she suicided.
She kind of just dipped,
at the
just
end.
murdered a bunch of people, and was like, all right.
Yeah, and then like disappeared. It's like, what happened? What probably happened is she like fell into like another realm.
I could see that. He's got to like save her. She'll be
Yeah.
like a prisoner somewhere or something. He's got to go find her.
What's weird is how the little girl knew her at the end of season 1.
Yep.
She was like, "Who's Yennefer?" And Geralt's like, "What the fuck did you just say?"
Just staring at her like, what?
It was like, "How the hell do you know Yennefer?" And then of course it ends. So
With her big humpback. And you're like, man, that girl might be kind of cute. She doesn't have her humpback. And then they're like, well, here you go. And you're like, whoa, we were right.
yeah, it starts off like it starts off she's just a hunchback in Notre Dame.
Yeah. Literally.
And then becomes like the fucking
Just
most
dope.
gorgeous
You're like,
like
oh my
witch
God.
ever.
With her purple eyes and all that. And you're like, oh my God, this is...
Jesus, Geralt.
What happened to that volleyball that was on your back? Where did that thing go?
Well, she used like black. She sacrificed her uterus to look like that.
Yep.
So that's basically
Well, her
what happened.
dad like sold her. Isn't that how it
Yeah,
was?
Yeah. But like with the magic, she had to like sacrifice her uterus, her ability to bear children, to be able to remove that hump and like look beautiful. You know.
If only they gave Quasimodo that same option. Give up your nuts, dude. You won't have this humpback. You're not gonna ring this bell anymore.
Shit. Season 2 of Witcher. That's something I can't wait.
Yep. Season 2 of Mando.
Mando. That's
Mando.
on 31st, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. Yeah, Pedro Pascal, he got fired.
He did, huh? I heard that he was being
He
a
got
little bitch.
Yeah, he was.
We
He
can
said,
it's a podcast. I guess I can say whatever I want, but
yes, absolutely. But he was being a little bitch. He said the helmet was too
yeah,
uncomfortable.
from what I read, it was and that he also wanted more scenes with his helmet off. I think just to
Yeah,
be recognized more of who it is. But it's like, dude, you'll probably get. Let's just say they do 6 seasons. There'll probably be like 3 instances the whole time that he takes his helmet off, and we've already seen one.
yeah.
Like I don't
See-
see, and I wouldn't like if every season he took it off like once a season. I'd be like, all right, well, come on, man.
Yeah, like what's really interesting too is like how they're gonna replace him. Is like are they gonna how are they gonna replace his voice? You know?
You can just get somebody who kind of sounds similar, mess with the.
Yeah, I mean, I guess technology is like insane nowadays. So all you have to do is look at his vocal cords and like on like
Oh,
a
yeah.
program and then like sync it up.
He's probably said enough things that they could just take everything he said, dub it, and make a sentence.
Yeah,
And just
probably.
because I don't even think it was him the whole time as that actor. I think there was
Maybe
another
not.
guy underneath.
I mean, it's entirely possible.
Yeah, like he was the voice. I know that, but I think he was the actor
I'm sure
the whole
he
time.
had to have a couple doubles,
Oh yeah.
that went in and out because
What a role that you don't really hold much weight with that. Like, I'm gonna quit, and they're like, dude, you wear a helmet the whole time. Like, we'll just sure, see you later, dude.
yeah, it really doesn't impact it at all.
What's is it? Is it Giancarlo,
Who's that?
the guy from Breaking Bad? Gus. He's in.
Oh yeah, yeah.
he's
That's
in. I think his name's Giancarlo, right? I don't know.
I forget. Like I know he's like the main villain.
Yep. And he
Um,
kind of did you see that he kind of made a little whoopsie, and they were talking about
No.
Mando and all that, and he was saying he was already talking about season 3 and 4, and he was
Oh.
like, "Oh, well, there's going to be a lot more. It's going to get a lot deeper in season 3 and 4." And I think that everyone at Disney was like, "No, we're not supposed to be saying
Oh,
there's already a
God.
3." You know what I mean? You
He
gotta,
just Spider-Maned it.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Just fucking let loose.
I hope
on
Bill
the
Burr's
spoilers.
in season 2 again.
Oh, he's got to be.
I remember every week we were like, damn it, he wasn't in it this time because we knew he was going to be in one of the episodes.
Yeah.
Though we were so hoping that they would have made him blue.
Yeah, well, Bill Burr is one of our like favorite comedians. Like he's
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
hilarious. So it was, and like his seeing him on Breaking Bad too. It's like he can act.
He
It's
was
like
good,
He's,
yeah.
he's really not a bad actor.
That scene where they was at the car wash.
Yeah.
And he had to like explain to the guy what violations he was in, and
Yeah.
Skyler was reading off what he was doing, and like I don't think if you were in my ear telling me that, I wouldn't be able to repeat it as fast as I'm hearing it.
Oh,
I'd
he
be
was-
messing up and stumbling over, and he was just
He was
going.
Just, he was just on it. It's yeah, Bill Burr, man, he's fucking.
I was hoping he was gonna be blue, like was the guy in Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah.
like that. That was, but it was funny. I didn't think he was gonna, but I was hoping.
It would have been crazy if we saw Bill Burr as like a giant alien, and it's just
Like
like,
little
Bill Burr's
horns
like
or something on his
face.
head. Yeah.
You just see Bill Burr's face, and it's just complete makeup everywhere. Fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, and he plays a good bad guy too. And it's also funny that like he has old stand-ups where he was just shitting on Star Wars and Star Wars fans and everything, and then
they're like, "We want you to come on our show."
And then I love people were all mad, like, "Well, he said bad things about Star Wars. Why is he in it?" Like, because it's funny. That makes it even funnier that this guy was
It is
shitting on
even
Star Wars and now
hilarious.
he's in it. Like,
Yeah. Fucking Bill Burr, man. Yeah. So he's locked inside the cell.
yeah,
That's
that was
all-
that was one of my favorite episodes on that ship.
Oh, it was
Because that was like there was a couple creepy parts, like the lights were flashing and Mando just came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Because
they
that's how
were
we got
strobing.
Bill. Yeah,
the lights were strobing, and then Mando
Yeah.
comes up behind him. Yeah, that was like best way to describe it is like death stalking. You know, it's like just flashing, and he's coming, and then Bill Burr turns around, and then there's nothing, and then Mando's like behind him. Oh god, straight out of a horror movie.
It's like watching like The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's exactly like Batman. Exactly like Batman.
Mando.
So he's locked up in the cage with
Yeah, a couple of the other people that were on that mission with him.
the devil dude and all kinds of stuff. And
But nobody was like, that was like an automated ship, wasn't it? There was no crew members or nothing. I think they were just like the machines,
Yeah, it was just
like
robots.
janitor machines or whatever. Yeah,
yeah, it was just robots.
Baby Yoda, and I get where do those people call it Baby Yoda? So if you guys don't like that, sorry, I'm not going to say the child. It's Baby Yoda
It will always be Baby Yoda
until they give me a real name.
Yeah,
It's Baby
and
Yoda.
its real name better be better than Baby Yoda, or it will be Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
forever.
his real name should be Baby Yoda. That should
That's first name Baby, last name Yoda. No one will really complain
it.
about that. Nobody.
be drinking his little broth. It's the
Yeah.
cutest thing ever.
It is. It is. He's the cutest thing to happen to TV in a long time.
Yeah.
Or like just shows in general.
And you gotta love how everyone fell so much in love with him that when one of the stormtroopers punched Baby Yoda in the back,
Oh,
everyone was
God.
immediately like, "That guy needs to die immediately." He just punched Baby Yoda.
He
Like,
just. Oh,
we
God.
won't stand for this.
The internet was just so livid. Even after the episode, when they know that Stormtrooper dies, because like the robot comes and like blasts him and takes Baby Yoda, they were still livid. They were still like,
It wasn't
"No,
enough."
Whoever was the actor underneath the
Yep.
the Stormtrooper outfit, he needs to die. It's like-
It was that guy from that movie with him and Jennifer Aniston, and they go with the RV.
yeah.
I forget that guy's name, but he was the actor who played the Stormtrooper.
Oh, really?
In that, yeah. Because
No
I remember
shit.
he was on, I don't know if he was on Conan, but he was on something afterwards, and they asked him about it, and he was like, Jesus. Like, I didn't expect this.
Is that the same dude from Horrible Bosses? Like,
Yes.
I forget his name.
Yeah,
but-
that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, same guy.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was him. Because I think I remember they were talking to him about it, and I think he hit it hard the first time, and everyone was like, dude, it's like a, $10,000 probably dollar piece of equipment. I'm sure Baby Yoda isn't cheap, that
Yeah.
animatronic.
I think they spent over $1 million designing it and
Oh,
like making the movements all fluid.
because I think it was legit.
Yeah,
That
that
was-
thing, like that's an engineering project. Like that's
It's like you see Chucky, if you ever watch those movies, and you're like, wow, that's animatronic, that's pretty good,
Yeah.
But then you see Baby Yoda, and you're like, that's an alien. What is that thing?
it's real. It's too real. I love it. It's too cute.
Use the Force, Baby Yoda.
It's so cute when he uses the Force.
Yeah.
It's like just
You think they'll end up being a Mando video game?
I'd honestly, I thought about that once or twice.
Or an expansion,
Like
like a
an
Star Wars game will come out, and then like an
like an
expansion will
open
be
world Mando type game where
you do
it's
bounties.
westernized, bounties
Yep,
and stuff like
almost like
that.
Red Dead 2 in space.
Yeah, exactly like that. Like who wouldn't love that?
That'd be amazing.
You know? And like just it has like RPG elements, but it's not like full RPG. There's not 1,000 players everywhere. But
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
it's diverse enough so that like there's only like 5-10 players in an area where it's not like everyone's like
That would be cool.
1,000 people spawned in one location. Everyone's
It'd be cool if you
inside
get like
each
bounties
other's
put out,
bodies.
like GTA. Someone could put a bounty out on you,
Yeah,
like in Mando. You know what I mean? So people gotta save yourself.
exactly. Yeah, and like that'd be so cool. And like there's so many vehicles in Star Wars too. Like
Oh, it's
so like you're
infinite.
just doing bounties to save it for vehicles to fly to different planets and. Imagine a No Man's Sky Star Wars.
That's
Star
oh
Wars.
my god! Like yeah,
you're
it would have to be like
literally
No Man's
flying.
Sky. Exactly.
You're literally flying from other planets, but like minus the kind of shitty harvesting and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's
Minecraft
like
in
it's like
space,
planets that are alive and like it's
That would be
it's
wicked cool.
biomes and giant slugs under
Oh
the
yeah.
sand.
Who would want to end up at some point and get the Millennium Falcon? Who wouldn't want to fly around in that
Yeah,
light
goddamn.
speed?
A Star Wars. A Star Wars open world Red Dead Redemption 2 No Man's Sky
Yep.
game.
Did you play Fallen Order?
Fallen Order. Yeah.
Yeah.
I played about, I'd say like 30% of it. I didn't beat it all the way through just because I had it on Xbox, and then I got my PC.
And then that was that
and
was
then,
PC time.
And then it's just Xbox is now a Netflix brick. That's what it is
Yep.
now. But
It was good.
yeah,
It was really good. It was a lot of fun.
lot of good reviews for it. I love the lighting in the game too. Just like when you take your lightsaber out, no matter what you're around, it's affecting it
Yes.
visually with the light, and it makes you feel so powerful because you see that light and you're just like, holy shit!
Like this thing is gonna fuck something up.
Yeah, like this is amazing.
Like, oh, here we go.
And like the customizable like lightsabers in that, it's like you have every spectrum.
That
of
was
color.
so cool that you could just put different
Orange,
crystals and
yellow,
all
it
that stuff in it.
don't
And
matter.
you got the dual wielding one like Darth Maul at one point. You can.
Yeah, fucking awesome.
That game was so good.
And at the end, you encounter Darth Vader, right?
Yep.
He pulls the whole place down,
Pulls everything down, and then.
and you're just like, my force is so not as strong as his.
Oh no, it's insane. It's like
Oh, God.
the Rogue One.
Yeah.
I think that was the best Star Wars movie. Mainly like the movie was great, but that end scene where he's just walking through, just messing everybody up.
Oh,
he just
God,
holds
yeah.
that one guy up in the air while he's killing other people, then kills that guy in the air. I was like, oh, this is.
Have you seen the like music videos to that?
No.
They're hilarious,
That's
dude.
good. Oh,
like,
man.
Like I'll show you. But it's like they take certain songs that sync up with the movements of Darth Vader and like him slashing people to bits, and it makes it so much cooler.
It was one of the
It
best
really
scenes I've
does.
ever seen in my life of him just walking in and people just fleeing for their lives, and he's just like, nope, dead.
Let me see if I can find one here.
One guy actually makes it out. I think that was the best Star Wars movie.
Yeah, Rogue One. Yeah, it was. I mean, that's a great Star Wars story. you
That's
know?
why it was just so cool. Like,
It's
how,
just
how do they
from
know
beginning to
about
end. It's a great Star Wars story.
And they die. I like that.
And they die.
He always wins. No, they died. They died on that planet,
They did.
just like the dinosaurs.
Because it's like the Death Star hits it, right? Or is it the Death Star or like a nuclear blast or something?
No, yeah, they kill the planet.
Yeah, they use the Death Beam.
Yep.
To destroy the planet. Yeah.
Rogue One. Did you ever play the Force Unleashed games?
Those
Those are pretty good too.
yeah, I
Those
did.
are.
I
The
remember.
stories in that was cool because you were like
I remember
Darth
playing.
Vader's apprentice.
Yeah, yep. I remember playing the really old Battlefronts too.
Oh
Like,
man. Yep.
I remember just me and my cousins. It'd be like 4 or 5 of us just all playing, and like that was a really really cool franchise at the beginning when they first came out with it, because you could have so many people playing at once, just Jedi and Empire.
Yep.
You're just trying to conquer the galaxy and like stop each other from taking over certain planets, and like you have to do these like big wars to, whether you win a planet or not.
Yeah.
And it was so fun. It was so fun.
Most of the Star Wars games are good. Even
Yeah.
the newer Battlefronts. Like, I mean, I know the story mode and everything was short, but they were good.
Yeah, they were fun. They had their problems with like the loot boxes and shit
Yeah.
too, because like they had it to a point where you could actually gain like in-game advantages through loot boxes, and that was just, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's a little
like,
too much.
Loot boxes have to be cosmetic, if you're gonna do them. Like you can't you can't let people pay to win on a game that you already paid for.
Yeah, I just paid $60 for this game, and then now
and
you
then you
want
make
another $100 and something so I can beat everybody. Like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's horrible. They ended up fixing that because they knew people were extremely upset.
Yeah.
So, that's good.
Though I say that, and Destiny gets me all the time. Hey, $60 for this game, plus $15 or $30 every time we come out with a new expansion.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's another $30.
Oh god. Yeah, like expansions they've been getting pretty crazy. Like just when you look at Destiny, the amount of expansions they have, they come out with the base game at $60, and then they come out with what, 6, 7, 8 expansions.
Oh,
It's
probably
like,
at least, yeah.
and that's like what, $300 to almost $400
Right
like
there,
that.
yep. And then, also, if you want the season pass,
Yeah.
you can pay extra for that.
What they do too is like it's multiple season passes.
Yeah.
So it'll be like season pass for like this one, this
Then
one.
now you need the new season
And
pass.
then you need the new season pass because it's a different season. It's like, the fuck? Just
Wait,
give me a year
like-
pass. Give me a all of it pass.
Yeah, what the hell?
That's what
do you...
season pass used to mean. It used to mean you get all of it.
I was good. That's it. I'm good now.
And now it's not
No.
that. It's like you get season pass is what you have to buy, or you have to buy everything separate.
Wait,
And you have to buy 4 season passes.
I don't want to do that. I just spent $60 on this game and $500 or whatever on the console. Like, wait,
Yeah.
what?
God damn it.
More money.
Yeah, it sucks when developers or any company in general puts like making money above like the quality of their
Yeah.
product, and like that's what we saw with like Anthem, and just
Just get it out there.
just get it out there. And EA is one of the most shitty companies.
Oh, EA. I can't believe they're still around.
If you've I don't know if you've ever seen like they do like worst company of like the year ratings. Multiple websites do it, and they take these polls and stuff, and they look at statistics, and they do like what's like the worst company of the year. EA always wins. And you gotta keep in mind, this is not just gaming companies. It's worst company.
Just just in general, companies that exist.
Yeah, it's like EA is like one of the worst companies ever. Just because of their tactics to make money.
They just pump out half-made games all the time, and they're like, "Oh,
with
whoops,
loot
this
boxes,
sucks."
and then they'd be like, "Oh, you want a
Titanfall.
You want a 99 Tom Brady in NFL? Oh,
Yeah.
you want that? Well, you gotta buy 1,000 packs.
Like, wait, what are you talking about?
If you want to beat other players, then you need to buy.
Yeah, Anthem was EA, right? I think Titanfall was EA. Titanfall at first came out like,
Yeah.
this is awesome. Then after a while, like, this is it?
Yeah, it became
Like, this is it?
really bland.
Yeah, you're like, this
Yeah.
cool.
Because like the thing it was missing is like progression for like guns and
Yeah, exactly.
all that stuff. Titanfall, it fell.
It just felt generic. Like, this
Yeah.
is the most generic game ever. Here's a gun. Here's your, Titan. Go
Yeah.
fight. Well, I want to choose and do... No, this is
Yeah.
go fight.
It's like, what about upgrades for the guns, or
Yeah.
like different styles, or like
I have to play online. There's no sub-story.
what
no.
about different melee weapons for like
Yeah.
your character? What about coloring your gun with like cosmetics and stuff? They eventually fixed it and they brought all that stuff in,
But it's too late.
It was way too late.
Like, I'm not going back to that game.
And when you do go back to it and you like check it out, it feels inauthentic because the game wasn't made with those qualities in mind. So they were just added later on. I mean, people don't like that.
No, you
You
can
know?
tell. You're like, oh, so now you're just fixing it because we. It's too
Yeah.
late though. Like it's too
No
late. I
Man's
don't.
Sky is another example.
Oh
It's like
no, man! I remember
too
that.
late to fix it,
I
man.
remember afterwards, like the reviews were like, "Wow, this is a really good game." Now I'm like, "It's too late. I'm not
Yeah.
going back to No Man's Sky." I was playing that. I remember that game coming out. I'm like, "This is gonna be one of the best games ever."
It looked fantastic.
And then you're like, "This is it." This
Yeah.
is like I feel like I was playing a mobile game, like on my phone. Home. I'm like, "What? This is all we're doing? We're just harvesting and flying. That's cool." Like what?
You go to these planets and like on the trailer you see like these giant serpents under the sand and like giant like dwarfed elephants and like roaming in herds and like there's these giant magnificent biomes you can go visit on the same planet that you're on, vast oceans with
This is insane.
with life just teeming and like you guys to go up to like a single like piece of life and discover it and like categorize it. And then you get in the game, and then it was just brown, just a brown planet
You're like,
everywhere
What the hell is this?
with like little nodes of like things that you can harvest.
It was awful. I just remember I'm like, this can't really be the game. And then like, no, see, we made it better. Everything's good now. And you're like, it's. I don't care.
You still get in the game, and like the life, and like the planets, they still don't look like how the trailer had it. 3-4 years ago. It's still they still look different.
That was like I forgot when Xbox One first came out. They had some game that they were showing about like you and like a dragon fighting together, and like you fighting with dragons, and you could like get some dragon skin and all this stuff. The game never came out.
Yeah,
never came out. But I remember seeing trailers. I'm like, dude, this is gonna be sick. And they're like, no, it's not, Nick. That movie. I mean, this game's never coming out ever. So,
God damn it, man.
Let's go back to the original Game Boy. Let's get a Game Boy Color.
A Game Boy Color.
Play some Pokemon Yellow.
Oh my God, Pokemon. Yeah, those like little like chimes and songs are just stuck in your head. Oh my God.
You just walk into a grassy field, and you're like, oh, another Pidgey. Get out of here, Pidgey.
Remember like shiny Pokemon? They were like 1 in a million.
Oh yeah.
Like they were put in by developers as like a thing to almost think you like it was almost to make you think it was like a glitch at first because it's like
they did so many cool things like that with old N64 games and so they just snuck little things in there that if you could figure it out
eventually someone figures it out and then it blows up on the internet because no one knew about it. And like shiny Pokemon, it's like I didn't know that till YouTube came out.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like there's shiny Pokemon in these games. I was like, what are you talking about?
Man, I remember I think the biggest technological thing that blew my mind. I remember I could play my Game Boy and I could take the Game Boy game, put it in this cartridge, put it in the back of my N64 commercial, and I could play Pokemon Stadium, and I could play like the Game Boy game through Pokemon Stadium, or I could I could switch all the Pokemon I caught from Yellow, Red, or Blue, and I could put them on Pokemon Stadium and use them in Pokemon Stadium. Like, this is the craziest thing I've ever thought of. I couldn't imagine something like that. And now I'm like, that was just so stupid. Like, it was kind of cool, but it's like that wasn't really a big deal.
Yeah. I remember I had a GameCube. There was this Pokemon
one of the
game
coolest
for it.
systems ever made.
It was really good.
It was such a cool system.
It was a solid system, and it really did as like advertised. Like, think about like a game on GameCube that had like glitches or like inconsistencies.
It was great.
I mean, it was a very good console. It was very good, and like all the games for it when they came out, they were like flawless.
They were all. I remember when was it Super Smash Bros? Was it Melee? I don't know whatever one came up for GameCube though. I remember playing it with my buddies and being like, "This is like the coolest."
Yeah.
Well, Mario Kart, I think they did the double dash or something around there too. So you're like, "Oh my, this is."
They had 4 controller slots.
Yep.
It was awesome.
Little mini, tiny discs, the tiniest discs.
There was this Pokemon game on there. It was a Pokemon. It was like Coliseum, or it's like tournament or something.
Yep.
And you start off in like this like kind of like desert area, and like you get like an Eevee. But like you get like the evolved version. It's like a Psyche Eevee, and you get one. You get 2 different Eevees at the beginning. It's like a black and a white one. And they're kind of your main Pokemon, and you got to go through like this Coliseum like ranking type thing, and defeat all the trainers, and you catch new Pokemon. And oh, I beat that game at least 10 times. I played it so much. I loved it because it was the first game. It was the first Pokemon game that was 3D, and like you could walk around, and like it was like it had the same perspective of like a GTA character. It's like it's an open world where you're walking around with your like Pokemon character. It's not really open. I mean, it's GameCube.
Yeah.
But you have a 3D character, and the Pokemon are 3D, and they're fighting each other in a 3D way, and you didn't really see that again until like DS. You know.
Yes.
Till DS came out, and you had Pokemon Emerald and stuff like that. But that game was like the first Pokemon game that I remember that like went from 2D to 3D. You know, that's why I was like fascinated with it. I was like, it's amazing.
Oh yeah, Pokemon Stadium, all those games. I was obsessed.
The new Pokemon games got some flack though, because it's like they didn't. The story is still like the generic same story, and like you get some people who love that and some people who don't. Like they want you to innovate more because it's been the same story for
since
50 games,
96 or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
literally 50 games. It's been the same story, and the new games, it's like the Pokemon look really good and the aesthetics are good, but the story is just ass.
Yeah, it's like I don't
It
care
doesn't
about,
keep you. It doesn't keep you entertained at all. Like the other ones, it used to be you got your rival, right? That like is basically you're fighting the whole time. In this one, you don't really have that. It's like there's no Team Rocket or any other enemy faction. Yeah. So imagine a Pokemon game that looks really good, but you have no evil faction that you're fighting against.
Yeah, like what's that?
So they literally took the story that's been the same for like 50 games. They took out the Team Rocket basically, or whatever, like Team Aqua, Team Fire. It's like different games. They're
they do different
versions.
ones. Yep.
But they took that out and then just gave you that monotone story without any sort of Team Rocket to go and fight, without any sort of like enemies that are trying to like, you know, like stop you on your journey, and like
the whole point of the show and everything was
yeah,
antagonist, protagonist.
Yeah, there's no antagonist in the game. The new ones on like the Nintendo Switch. There's none. There's no antagonist. It's just you go gym to gym to gym, and everything looks really good, and the Pokemon moves look really good, but there's no antagonist story. So
you want something going down while you're traveling.
I played it halfway through, and I haven't touched it.
It was like, I'm good. I get it.
I was like, this sucks. Crazy thing about the Switch too is that every game on there, it literally costs $60. No matter how old. It's insane.
I saw they redid the
Nintendo is so bad with that.
Super Mario 64 and all that. I saw they released them and I was like, oh my god, one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
And then I saw that it looks the same though. I was kind of I don't think they were gonna make a brand new game.
Were they $60 on the Switch? Yeah, $60.
$60.
It's insane.
What? Like
they have no price management. They have no deals, really.
No.
Their deals are for little indie games that go from $5 to $4.
Like your Nintendo, we all know why. It's Mario. It's things like that. Like that's why I'm buying this.
I'm buying this from Mario and Pokemon and all that stuff.
Super Smash Brothers.
Your Pokemon's kind of fading like Halo. It's not really doing too good. Like you gotta really innovate on that.
Re-release a whole new Halo. I really don't care at this point. Like I don't.
Because like I love the OG like Pokemon story, but like if you don't have the Team Rocket,
that's the whole point.
Then it's really a monotone journey of just
If you watch that show without like a Team Rocket and stuff, you'd be like, oh well, I guess he always just wins in the end, or you know what I mean? There's nobody at some point just showing up for some, even if it's some comedic relief.
Yeah,
or something.
There's nothing to pull you aside on your journey to give you any like side quests or side tasks or anything to make
focus.
Yeah, it's just a straight line, and there's no change at all.
Who sends 11-year-old out into the world anyway with monsters? Just go capture these monsters with this crazy technology that you can turn them into pure energy. And they go inside of this ball.
Yeah.
Like what?
It's like when you resummon it, is it still the same Pokemon as it
Yeah.
was before?
Is it like
Every time you capture it, do you kill it and summon a new one?
is it
What's happening?
like when you get Beam Me Up, Scotty? I mean, if they break you down to that atom and remake you, I mean, isn't that kind of like a clone of you? That's not really you anymore. You know what I mean? Like, is it making
Yeah,
a
like,
brand
like
new
what's
you
happening?
every time? Is that what's happening? Is that why Pikachu never wanted to get in the Pokeball? Because it was like,
Probably.
I like me now. I don't
Yeah,
want to
he's like,
be.
I don't want to die. Why would I want to die?
And why doesn't it work in people? You throw it at a person, doesn't do anything.
It's a really good point. I never thought of that. I'm like, why can't a person go on the ball?
Nobody. There's no people. You know what I mean?
Like, why doesn't a person try it? It's like because you don't want to be deatomized.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You don't. Nobody wants to be cloned. Essentially, oh,
yeah.
it's you. You got all your memories. Like, but I was just broken down to the smallest point of me and rebuilt. Like,
Yeah, I don't know
Is
what
it-
I am. Am I
is it
me
s-
from before?
yeah.
What is this?
Look like Neo from the Matrix. I'm all gooey. What happened?
Oh god. Yeah, dude. Fucking Neo Matrix, like Keanu Reeves.
Yes.
He's in Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, it's him, isn't it?
Yeah,
Is it-
he's like the main
Yeah.
evil dude. Why can't you just play as Keanu Reeves though?
I wanna be
Why
Keanu
can't
Reeves.
he be the main person,
Yeah.
the main protagonist?
I want to be Neo. All right. I
feel-
want to be John Wick.
Yeah, I feel like people would want to play him more than fight him. It's
Yeah.
fucking Keanu Reeves. You want to,
Keanu Reeves. I want to do that.
imagine Keanu Reeves, but now he's got all these technology upgrades that you get to use.
It's
and
amazing.
fight with. That's so fun.
Like a Terminator Keanu. I'm in.
Yeah. God damn.
Just don't hurt his dog.
Don't hurt.
He'll come for you.
Dude, so one thing I found that was really cool about Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077 is so apparently in The Witcher 3, have you beat it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you find what's her name again? The white hair?
Oh God, it's been a while.
Why am I blanking on
Yes,
her name?
her.
Why am I blanking on her name? I'll look it up real quick. It's Yennefer? No, Yennefer's the dark-haired girl. Who's Ciri?
Ciri. Yes.
Ciri is that's yeah. I don't know why I was blanking. So it's Ciri. Apparently, when you find her, right, and you're talking to her, like at like the campfire, I saw this thing on YouTube. So she actually talks about being in the Cyberpunk 2077 universe for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's a hidden like dialogue thing that you can do. It's not like yellow, so it's not like you need to click it. It's not like
Yep.
the yellow words. It's like one of the ones in the bottom, and you ask her about where she was the whole time when she was missing, or like part of it, and she says she went to this world with flying vehicles and people made of non-human parts.
Oh, so it was a.
So she's vaguely talking
Wow,
about
that's pretty cool.
the cyberpunk universe, and honestly, we need to get like a TV like here,
Oh,
so
yeah.
like I can like show that to you
Yeah,
as
we
I talk
definitely
about
gotta.
it. So, but yeah, she was in the cyberpunk universe, and it's so cool watching it because when she describes it, she's describing everything in the cyberpunk universe. So, what people are theorizing is that there's either going to be a side quest or Easter eggs in 2077
About The Witcher.
with Ciri.
Yep.
Like, and maybe you help her get back to the world she's
Yep.
in. Maybe
Or
do
someone
that.
talks about helping.
Yeah.
Oh, I helped someone one time get back to. Even if it's a throwaway line that you're not thinking about, you're like, oh shit, he was just talking about.
Or maybe
getting her back.
Maybe you just drive up to an area and you see her jumping through a portal.
Yep.
Or maybe you see her run down an alley, right? And like
Yeah.
you go try to find her, but you can't. You know?
She's just gone.
Or just someone in a bar mentions something about a girl with white hair.
Yeah, you walk by and she's like, oh, this girl with white hair just disappeared or something.
Yeah,
you're like, oh,
this girl
shit.
with a sword and white hair is running around everywhere.
Yeah. Like medieval
she
times.
looks like
looking
she's
chick.
from like the 1300s. Like
Yeah.
what the fuck? But dude, like that's like crazy. Like that's like a really cool. Like you think like CD Projekt Red, that they're gonna do that. You know, they're gonna have something with Ciri in there if
Oh,
they
yeah.
planted it in The Witcher 3.
Yeah, there's no reason they wouldn't if they didn't put it in there.
Because Ciri is such a big character, they're not gonna just have her say that and then throw it away and then
Yeah.
never bring it back up.
Because people would be pissed, like, well, why did you ever even bring this up in the first place?
Yeah, they have to have like a little payoff for it, and
Yep.
like just tell me that's not like a really cool Easter egg that they're
Oh, that's
doing.
wicked cool.
Yeah.
You'll find one of his weapons at some point.
Yeah, imagine if you get like Ciri's sword or
That's
something.
what I mean, yeah.
Or like imagine if like you put it in a replicator and like you copy it and like she gets her sword back, she goes back to Geralt and like you have just like this fucking
You got
Witcher
this sick
sword.
fucking, yeah, you got this Witcher sword of the future.
Yeah. You get this Witcher sword you're just slicing everyone up with.
Like Trunks and Dragon
Yeah.
Ball Z.
It's this medieval
murdering
sword.
people.
Everyone
Yeah.
else gets like crazy guns, but you're just the tank and you're just cutting everybody up. Yeah, dude, I thought that was
That is
awesome.
pretty cool. That's really cool.
I love when I find like little things like that, like with games, like just those tiny little Easter eggs that like relate to something else, or
Oh, yeah.
sometimes they're the coolest shit.
God of War does a lot of stuff like that. There's a lot of, small
Are
things.
there any Easter eggs in God of War?
Yeah, the small things you see. Like, even the Loki thing, they never really say it. Like, you have to see that mural to realize that that's where they're leading up to, is
Oh.
him being Loki.
Okay.
Because they
Gotcha.
show him with the helmet, with the horns,
Yeah.
and all that.
Oh shit.
The god of mischief.
God of mischief. Yeah. Loki is Thor's brother,
Yep.
so he's Thor's little brother.
But he's the adopted brother.
Oh. So he's not blood to Thor.
No.
Okay. All right. Man. Alrighty, we're about an hour and 16 minutes in. I
Yeah.
think that's a good place to cut it off. We talked about a lot of stuff. But yeah, thanks for watching the Human Bacon podcast,
Yes.
episode 2.
Subscribe, like, comment,
All that good stuff.
let us know.
Let us know anything you want to hear, and we'll definitely get back to you. So thanks for listening, and have a good one, guys.
Adios.